How's your sleep? If it's not what you like it to be, you might want to stick around for the rest of today's video. We got something special and treat for you. Okay, so the first thing we want to start with as a chiropractor, where I'm trained to kind of look at your health. And this is going to make sense too, because we're going to plug into each of these areas I'm going to tell you about in regards to your sleep. We always look at your health and usually what we consider a triangle of health, where we look at your biomechanical, kind of the things going on inside your body, the structural, the things that most of you affiliate what we work with. That's like adjusting and working with the joints, and then mental. And so we attack this whole problem from these three areas. So if we come down here, we'll start and look here at this triangle only. And this is how I'm going to do our next videos too, is just so you can kind of see the rationale behind it. So as we look at this triangle down here in regards to sleep, we're going to see what we like to do mechanically or biomechanically and biochemically and with sleep. So with the biochemical side of things, we look at a couple things. One, like when are you waking up or are you having a hard time going to sleep? Now these things are always best if we sit down and we talk one-to-one, but I'm going to give you some generalities. So if you're waking up at 1 o'clock a lot, they consider that time period a time when liver function is important to help your body relax. And so you might have some liver function issues. If you're waking up at 3 o'clock, for example, quite a bit of times, that's usually a blood sugar problem that's going on. And so there's things we can do to address that. But there's other things as well, things in general that we do to help calm down biochemical issues. We like to use Mintran and Easy Mag here from Standard Process, but along with those other ones we just talked about. Then alignment. This is one that always gets me. This is one that a lot of people overlook. It's kind of like having that room that's not quite the right temperature for you to relax. If you have something that's out or not feeling quite right, or it's causing a little bit of nerve radiating, that's going to give a signal to your brain constantly to stimulate that. And also pain stimulates your adrenals, which is usually not associated with relaxing. It's what you do is the fight or flight type of response. And even if it's a small amount, that'll rob you of some of your sleep. The next thing we look at over here is mental. Now, one thing we really like for this, now we can address mental health with nutrition as well, but I always kind of separate them out. So I'll always address that here in the biochemical side. But if we want to do things that stimulate the mind, we're talking about things, how we can have actions on it that'll cause it to heal or do better things for us mentally. And one thing that we found highly successful is the brain tap machine. Now, I don't have one here, but I'll have them grab us one here at the end and I'll show it to you a little bit. But the neat thing about brain tap is what it can do for you. So I have a study here, and we like to use this with athletes as well, because it is just to show you how effective it is with mental problems or with mental health and brain function, is they use it a lot with concussion patients. And they've done a study, and this is a neat study. So people that use brain tap, and this is for after a 6-week trial, they're with chronic concussion syndromes, their headaches went down 30%. Now, if they get treated chiropractically, that percentage those headaches go down even further. Okay. The real neat stuff, though, is some of the other effects. Nausea. If you're having chronic nausea from concussion issues, your symptoms will go down 55% when using the brain tap. And the reason why is this technology gets in there and it actually causes hormones released within the brain and that increase the healing cycle by double. And then the next part here is dizziness. Your dizziness symptoms will go down 66% with brain tap. And so it's a neat technology to look at. So in recapping those things, We like to look at liver function if it's right as you're starting to go to sleep. If you can't go to sleep, a lot of times there can be coping things we work with. Also setting up your environment. No blue lights before you go to bed. That's computer stuff, phones, all the stuff you've heard about. Making sure you don't do any stimulants before bed. No caffeine, no alcohol, sugars. People, even though alcohol is officially a depressant, it works as a stimulant. One, because it depresses your system, it'll kick up your adrenals and it'll start causing a side effect of being stimulated. Plus, because it's such a fast absorbing sugar, it goes back to the sugar problem we talk about here, where you wake up at 3, it'll cause your insulin to overreact, and then you'll go into low blood sugars, and that makes it hard for you to stay asleep or have good quality sleep. And then we have the brain tap, which is easy to use. And if you haven't used it before, it's really easy to do. You can just come in and try it for yourself here. We can set you up here, or you can set you up at home. But it's a great way to try it and see what you think. And then, of course, adjusting. And that's something everybody should be doing. I do it every 2 weeks. Most people do it somewhere between 2 weeks and 6 weeks. But don't let yourself go out too far. You'll be surprised at how much better you sleep when everything's in place. I wanted to share one last thing with you because this is going to be kind of the format of some of our criteria, and we'll get into different issues and deep dive into them a little more even as we go. But I wanted to just share with you kind of the criteria of how we come up with these solutions for you. Okay. And the criteria is really simple. I just follow, anytime we look at something, you're offering a patient something, I always consider 3 things. 1, is it safe? 2, is it sustainable? In other words, it doesn't have a lot of side effects. Is this a solution that they can live with for the rest of their lives, or is this something that's going to cause them problems somewhere else and then they have to solve even a bigger problem down the road? That's a pretty common thing with pharmacological solutions, is they can stress or destroy certain organs, other organs other than what they're treating along the way, and then you have a bigger problem down the road of you can't do that for the problem you have now, and you also have to fix this organ that's been damaged. So we like to do it sustainably. Sustainable also means value, which is, I put it here as a separate thing, but we always look at that as a sustainable solution. And what that means is simply we look at everything when we take it into consideration for value. In other words, is this going to cause you any cost or issues down the road? Is it something you can continue to do? And compared to other things out there, and when we look at their sustainability and their function and their overall effectiveness and efficiency, does this beat it in value and give you a better outcome? And that's how we measure everything we do in here. If you ever want to come in and look at my case loads of different products and things we've tried and looked at in here, you can. It's part of what we do is we just kind of filter through a lot of stuff to really try to give you a simple, refined look at what'll give you the best bang for your buck. But just remember this. So for your sleep, make sure that we look at our nutrition. We look at how we're ending our day. We look at what time we're getting up, or if it's just something we're having a hard time going to sleep with. And come in and try the brain tap and see what you think of that. I think you'll like it if you're having difficulties with sleeping. If you have any other questions about sleep, feel free to give us a call here at 208-854-0600. And until then, I hope you have a great week. And this is Dr. Gray signing out. Till next time.